some people are saying other things. We're not really going to focus on the particulars of their situation. But what we do want to do is, broaden the conversation out a little bit. And, I just want to get you guys' opinions on this. So, Flaw, let me ask you first, man. And then we'll open up the convo. What is your definition of snitching today in 2022?
Snitching is anybody who is involved in an activity, for me, that decides to tell on the other people involved in what they're doing, because they got caught or to get themselves an easier situation. That's where everything kind of falls into snitching for me today.
Okay. Twan, same question. What is your definition of snitching? Is it any different than Flaws? Do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah. Mine is slightly specific. Mine is slightly different. What Flaw described, I would consider more ratting. You're a rat, meaning like you told on some people that you were involved in a crime with. Snitching to me is like a criminal pointing out like an opposite gang. Like, oh yeah, they spent the block on us and such was shooting and such jumped out the car. That's snitching to me. What Flaw described is ratting. Like, oh, me and Flaw went and robbed the bank, then Flaw got caught, and then he ratted on me. Like, well, Antoine was with me, yada, 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 yada. But it's just a slight variation. But snitching to me is like you pointing a finger to some people that you may not even be involved in. But also, to me, you have to be a criminal or be in criminal activities to be a snitch. Civilians can't snitch to me because it's not the same standard that they're held by.
All right, and Dave, man, question for you, because and I want you to elaborate on this as much as you like to, but you just came home like you stated at the beginning. So, how has your definition, if it has at all, has it changed at all? From when you first went in, what did you think of what a snitch was, and then dealing with those politics behind the wall, and now being outside? Like, has your perspective changed? Speak to that.
No, I mean, my perspective ain't changed at all. I mean, I'm gonna say first, right? And we had a conversation, you know what I'm saying, privately before this, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna just kind of reiterate what we were talking about earlier, which is, there's there's a whole community of people, you know what I'm saying, and there's a whole, code of conduct, the code of ethics, you dig what I'm saying, that I still, you know what I'm saying, really answer to and got a lot of love for. So one thing that we don't support at all anywhere, you know what I'm saying, is people getting on public platforms, you know what I'm saying, they're digging into somebody else's business, you know what I'm saying, for their own gain, you feel me? Stuff like that, especially when it comes to shit like this, because then it becomes, we opening up politics, we opening up hood politics for the public opinions, you dig what I'm saying? And I don't dig that, you know what I'm saying? And I don't dig a lot of people on podcasts and on YouTube interviews and shit like that, you know what I'm saying, cloud chasing by speaking on somebody else's name. So I don't want to address, you know what I'm saying, this situation that happened. I don't want to address none of that personally, you dig, because ain't none of that got nothing to do with me, and I'm not really into speaking on nobody's name. So with that being said, I'll say this, right? I've been, really walking the main line for the past 8 years with people that like, and this has been my opinion ever since we was kids, you know what I'm saying, really, really being groomed in this shit, that anytime, you know what I'm saying? I mean, we was like preteens, teenagers, really, formulating our ideas and understanding that these people ain't never had our best interests at heart. You feel me? These people ain't never came around the block to help us out. You know what I'm saying? These people ain't never, you know what I'm saying, been in our neighborhood trying to, see us do well, trying to, you know what I'm saying, trying to incite any type of positive vibes on the block or nothing like that. So we ain't got nothing for them. You feel me? And I felt that way for a long time, for a very long time, ever since I was, you know what I'm saying, a teenager, you know what I'm saying, when I was really formulating my ideas. But especially walking the main line and being on the yard, and I got homies, you know what I'm saying, that First of all, shout out to homie Nut. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't know my guy, but my homie Nut, Mike Green, he's supposed to be going back for resentencing, sitting up under 50 years. I got homeboys that are going back, sitting up under 40, 50 years, 60 years, cats that are doing life without that. It don't really matter what you said. It don't really matter what you do. It don't really matter exactly how you spin a story. You feel me? If your name's in my paperwork, we got issues. You feel me? No matter what happened, no matter how big or how small your role was, if your name's in my paperwork, you dig what I'm saying? If everybody else who consider themselves adhering to this code find out that your name's in my paperwork, you no good. You feel me? You just no good. You stamp that way. You just no good. You feel me? And so if we talking about snitching from a more objective is the word I'm looking for, objective point of view, then any of us that are really in that realm, that are really living that life, we know that. You know what I'm saying? And so you just got to stand on that no matter what. That shit don't change. That shit don't evolve. The rules don't, you know what I'm saying? None of that is open to interpretation. You feel what I'm saying? That just is what that is. You know, and civilians, the rules don't apply to them, you know, because that's what the police is here for, the civilians. You feel me? If we was really about, you know what I'm saying, standing on solidarity and protecting, you know what I'm saying, the health and the safety and the livelihood of our neighborhoods and our neighbors, you did, then they wouldn't need the police that have us. You feel me? And but the civilians that ain't really for this, the civilians that ain't really, you know what I'm saying, they ain't pledged nothing to this, they're not really involved or invested in it, that shit don't apply to them. You just got to know that somebody that's not really living like this or isn't adhering to this code is going to look for some other way to seek justice, you know. But for those of us that fall up under that guideline, for those of us that fall up under that umbrella, you know, for those of us that are out here deliberately taking chances because we feel like this is what we didn't opt for, this is what we didn't tied ourselves into because, you know, this is just this is the system we had to create for ourselves because the system itself don't give a fuck about us. Then there ain't no help we gonna seek from the system, and there ain't no help we gonna give to the system. Point blank. Period. You did. That's really it.
For sure.